So, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Greatness Engineering Hour show, a show where I bring you people with special knowledge, special skills, champions, trailblazers, and people who are making a difference in the community, in their country, in their environment, and people really engineering greatness, wherever it matters. And today we're going to India and we're going to talk about fashion and manufacturing, but also talk about women empowerment because, as you know, fashion is a very big industry and generated a lot of money and where a lot of women are involved. So that's also a good environment to empower women. And my guest today is going to help us to know exactly how through what she's doing she's able to empower women. So what's her name? Her name is Dr. Maya Pradeep. She wears many hats, but she's an entrepreneur at heart, and she currently handles several roles. I mean, she is the CEO of her own venture called Haute Couture, and also a creative director at Chic, and she's also a designer, a partner in a consulting company called Beyond Z Consulting LLP. And she has worked for several Indian and multinational company in fashion design, and she has quite a lot of experience, 20 years plus experience. And she managed to realize that, India has a high quality manufacturing potential. And that's as a result of that she started to really understand the potential and started a venture called Haute Couture. So, I mean, she has a doctorate in social work from Global Peace Academy, and she has passion for modeling and acting, and she's been able to play some roles there. And she also a brand ambassador for a lot of some of the international fashion label. So she's passionate about empowering women, and what I was mentioning before about using what she's doing to help empower women, and especially making sure that girls get educated and really raise the awareness in the hygiene and cleanliness area. So I'm not gonna go in length. I'm just gonna bring her so she get the opportunity to introduce herself and really start to let us know how she managed to get where she is and what she's doing to make a difference in a community, in a country, but also globally. So make sure you have a pen, make sure you have a paper, take notes, and please participate because this knowledge is brought. It is here for you, so you have to make the most of it. So if you really want to know more about what Dr. Maya is doing, don't hesitate to comment, give your insight, or ask a question. So don't go anywhere. Get ready. I'm bringing the expert and bringing the champion, and we're gonna start this conversation with Dr. Maya.
Is it all right? Okay, okay, let's get started right into it. And that is the power of labels, right?
memories. But as I got older, I started to be more aware of some of the abusive sides of
So, good evening, Dr. Maya. Welcome to the Greatness Engineering Hour show. It's such a pleasure to have you today and get to know you and the work, the fantastic work that you're doing, and really help us to understand, the extent to which, you are engineering greatness, wherever you are and wherever it matters in your community. So before we get deep into our conversation, just wanted you to introduce yourself. Let us know who is Dr. Maya and how you've been the key things that you've been doing to reach the level where you are right now.
Yes, very good evening, Mirelle. Such a pleasure to see you. Good evening, viewers. It's my pleasure to be here. So, I don't know, it's a long journey that I have withstood and seen, and I should say that it has the essence of everything. A lot of hard work went into what I am today and what I have created. A lot of hard work and highs and lows and success and failures. All of this has made the journey worthwhile, and I wouldn't trade it for anything else. So this, I should say that I started almost 18 years back, and I came from a middle class family, and fashion was nothing that we could think of. It was all education and professional skills that we had to all acquire. But I don't know, when I was very good at studies, but I always had a flair for sketching and playing with colors, and even my designs of dresses were always loved as a kid, also when as a student also. So when I graduated, I thought I must try this profession, because
Mhm,
fashion was not very big then. It was just started, and it was a risk for me. I'm always a risk taker. So it was a risk for
mhm,
me leaving a professional course and trying to do design, which I didn't know whether it will pay off or how it will go or whatever. But I was ready to try it because I believed in myself. And so I came from a small town where I was studying, and I came to the metro city to learn design here. And while learning, I started modeling. I got an opportunity, and again, I used that opportunity to model. So I saw the glamour side of it. But one more
mhm,
reason for me to like fashion was the glamorous things that you see on magazine covers and on stage. It all looks so wonderful. But when I started learning design and experiencing and working, I realized it was nothing so glamorous. I mean, the backstage was a lot of hard work and a
mhm,
lot of sleepless night that you see on the glamour on the stage.
mhm,
So I started learning design, and I got curious more into the export and import part of it, which was the bigger picture
mhm,
of the fashion. Instead of retail, I went into the export and import because I liked always working with a global picture. I always had
mhm,
a global picture in my head, and I wanted to do global business. So I got into the export and import part of it and started learning. And then while I was studying, I was absorbed by great industries and great fashion houses.
mhm,
And these fashion houses gave me the experience and knowledge, because the fashion houses that I worked was French houses, US American houses, Dubai,
mhm,
Japanese. All of these were different experiences,
mhm,
completely different, and what they expected, the global market expected from what they expected from your country or the production field or for the manufacturing sites. These were completely, learning experiences that opened eyes that what people wanted when you're working globally, and what are the parameters you have to follow, because there are lots and lots of norms that you have to follow when you work with an international market. It's not easy because
Mhm.
within India you can get away with producing anyway, but when you have to export outside, you have to have coordinations, very proper coordinations with the factories, with the mills, with the designs, and everything has to be tracked, and you have to have a clear picture of what you're producing and what you're exporting, because otherwise it has to pass the customs, and the customs have all these forms and norms that has to be passed. So
Mhm.
you had to, it was not an easy job. so
Mhm.
you so while I was working as a buyer, as a fashion buyer, and as a designer, I only knew one aspect of it. But then working with several startups and several fashion houses, I got the know-how of the entire industry.
Mhm.
I understood what the European houses want and how they work and how they collaborate, how what are they expecting from you when they are working.
Mhm.
And why transparency and honesty is such a big factor when you're working globally.
Mhm.
That is a key factor for somebody to come, because you're working two different continents, two different time zones. So all they expect is to be transparent and give good products, and that's
Mhm.
how you make a name. You win the trust of people. So these are very important factors that I realized very early in life, while I was in my 20s, to learn this. And I worked mm, very, very many places and gained this experience. And in my last job, I was tired of working, and I said, enough of it. I want to quit. I was not happy with the
Mhm.
last, though it was a great, I had traveled around the globe working. And trust me, it was a great experience. And I completely loved what I was doing. I was
Mhm.
passionate. It never looked hard work. But working and then starting on your own is a different ball game. You need to
Mhm.
have a lot of guts. You need to have guts to leave a highly paid salary and start on all by yourself, without any godfather or without any support systems. So it takes a lot of guts. And one fine day from my last job, because I was not very happy with the conducive environment that it was
Mhm.
offering, I had to leave my job because I have my principles, and it was not gelling with the last work area. And so I
Mhm.
suddenly I decided I do not want to work at this place, and I had no clue what I would do the next day. And
Mhm.
I quit, not knowing what to do. And but then the entrepreneur bug was always in me. But I was not sure what I wanted to do and start now, because I'm
Mhm.
quitting the job. So somewhere, a lot of international clients had seen my work and how I had helped them grow their business and added value to their business, and how I had help them
Mhm.
by giving them inputs how to cut down their prices, and how they could sell their products, and also had convinced them to produce in India. I brought a lot
Mhm.
of brands to India, because unfortunately or fortunately, 20 years down the line, people thought that India was all about elephants and buffaloes walking in the street, and
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
all
Mhm.
colorful and all that. So it's a huge task for me to go. And even while I was working, I brought a lot of brands, and even the so I
Mhm.
had already created a reputation in the international market, convincing them that why India is their market, why they should come here and produce their stuff, and even open retail stores, and and start doing business here.
Mhm. Mhm.
but,
Mhm.
but while working and while starting your own is a different picture again. Now you're all alone, and you're trying to convince people that come to
Mhm.
me, I can give you. But when I quit my job, I was like not thinking of going back to the same profession. I wanted to start my own label or something. And I even started a t-shirt brand called Green and Brown.
Mhm.
I wanted to do now retail, because having experience exports, I wanted to now start my Green and Brand label, which is a men's label. I thought the competition would be less in men, because men just go pick up, and instead
Mhm.
of women
Mhm.
shopping all around, men just go and buy. So I thought, let me start with the men label, and it was pretty doing well. But having said that, my background of the work that I had done, I got a call from an international boss lady of a big fashion company in Europe. And
Mhm.
she said, I've heard about your work. Why don't you? It's a waste if you don't do anything, whatever you have
Mhm.
learned. You're not using it, so let me give you a chance. I want to create something which has got Indian inputs in it, and I want you to try and make this happen. And if you
Mhm.
succeed, then we are going a long way. And if you don't call me back. so, So, so she said, I was excited because it's a very big brand, and she was a CEO of the company, and I don't know how she got in touch with me. And I said, okay, I'll do it because I like challenges. I've always
Mm-hmm.
walked the way, the hard way, I never take the easy way. I've always worked the hard way because I believe in myself. I can work hard as much as I can. And I'm very positive oriented. I like to hear yes for an answer. I like to get things done. I'm a go-getter. And this
Mm-hmm.
has been my, I have learned these things and it's always been ingrained in me. So I said,
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it. Though I was nervous, I said, I'll do it because it
Mm-hmm.
was complicated designs and for me to start all alone from my own, making a company, formation of company, and going and getting these things. Fortunately, it all turned out beautifully, and there was a great export shipment that happened, and those sold very well. And the
Mm-hmm.
next thing she tells me is to collaboration of design. So I started collaborating for her and giving her designs, and a few years down the line, it was I designing for her because French market is already known for a lot of designs by themselves. They have the best
Mm-hmm.
designers. So she having taken my designs and to see them in the entire of Europe was a great achievement for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I loved it, and that gave me the boost that I
Mm-hmm.
can crack this market and go on and approach more clients because I'm doing something right that is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So then and honestly, I never did marketing. One client spoke about me to the another and another, and like this I had a lot and lot of clients. And a few years back we had the maximum business, maximum
Mm-hmm.
business until Bangladesh and China came in India and gave a
Mm-hmm.
competition to India. So that's how I'm. So Haute Couture today works with a lot of clients, fashion clients in Europe meaning France, Spain,
Mm-hmm.
Poland, Italy. We had US clients. Then we also do a little bit of for the Dubai market, and we also import things from China. So we do
Mm-hmm.
a lot of, we collaborate with all these fashion houses and make beautiful designs season after seasons for the fashion.
Mm-hmm.
There are four, some have 4 seasons, some have 2 seasons. So every season we work with and 2 seasons with most of the customers. So season after we are creatively thinking and bugging our mind to make something new, something beautiful. So what we do from India is to uh, present the clients all that can India can produce. We are
Mm-hmm.
more enhanced to make value added products.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have all those weavers and we have all those embroideries and beautiful works that can be done. So we give up all these inputs, and from there the design files come. We put all this together, and then once the design, then we have the fashion shows and we have the photo shoots, and then comes
Mm-hmm.
the big production. And the big production is in mass production. Then we assign factories. We
Mm-hmm.
sit and think which factories can do these things properly, and we work with all states like Delhi, Chennai, Tirupur, Bangalore, and Jaipur. So it's all depends on what state can produce what product. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how we distribute these productions, and then we have the quality controllers, and we have the fabric controllers, and then the product controllers, and all of this goes into production, and
Mm-hmm.
finally the inspection happens, and we export back. That's what Haute Couture does, and we have been doing great job, and we have collaborated with a lot of fashion houses, and we are still collaborating, and I'm enjoying the whole journey.
Mm-hmm.
And and Be Chic is a part and product of what I did with Haute Couture. Like I said, that this
Mm-hmm.
Be Chic was formed while working. I had the privilege to come across a lot of women who were never heard, or voices were never heard. They had their own story, but nobody was there to appreciate. And within my
Mm-hmm.
own surrounding, I saw a lot of women suffering and all. And Be Chic was created as a institute to teach all these women some skills
Mm-hmm.
to survive and earn money. So this part of it comes when I'll talk about it when I'm talking about the women empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's about the journey of Haute Couture. And then Beyond Z is a consulting company which is into
Mm-hmm.
manufacturing, which coaches and consults and trains for all the software institutes and manufacturing industries and hospitality industries and schools and such that. I'm designator partner, and I just look into the financial aspect, which I again enjoy looking into the financial
Mm-hmm.
part of it. So that's the story in short, and I have completely enjoyed the journey. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there were a lot of success and failures. The failures have made me strong. The success have given me a smile, and I
Mm-hmm.
am still raring to go places. And every
Mm-hmm.
year when I have 5 year plans, and every time I achieve them, I have the new plans. So I'm never at a loss of ideas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's an impressive journey because as I said at the beginning, it's a massive industry, lots of money, going in and out. So it's
Yeah.
not always easy to make a name, of yourself
Yes.
in all of this. And I really commend you to be able to actually, not only make your name in India but also internationally, because we know the fashion industry in Europe, it's big. I mean, all
Yes.
in France, in the UK, and very well known, brands. So very, very, very difficult. But I mean, you obviously started on your own, but did you have so you had few partnership as well. So what made do you think what made those partnership successful? And do you think that without them, you it would have been very difficult for you to go to the extent where you are?
See, I'll tell you, in the secret of any business is to be fair and transparent. It should be a
Mm-hmm.
win-win situation. You're in a partnership. For me, my partners were my factories, who are my strength, my office team, who were my. I cannot do anything without them, because there's a lot of the fashion business says that a
Mm-hmm.
lot of it's an unorganized sector, and a lot of people play behind the scene to make it all happen. So I
Mm-hmm.
cannot do anything without my team, who are very, very honest and transparent, and they have put their hard work to it. And 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 I have been, the factories that I have been working, I have been still working from the day one I started. So they
Mm-hmm.
are those people who never want to stop with me, and I never want to stop with them. So in a
Mm-hmm.
sense, factories are our real partners, because they have understood our requirement and they produce. And if there is a problem, they openly come and tell us, this has happened, now what, how can we resolve this issue? So we also do not want to hide, because I'd like you to understand the international industry. Once you lose your name, it's very difficult to get it back. And it's a very
Mm-hmm.
competitive industry,
Mm-hmm.
unorganized industry, and there are a lot of players in it. So you rather be come up and owe your responsibility and want to give the right product at the right time, because we are playing with seasons. If you lose a
Mm-hmm.
season, then we cannot sell the goods. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of our success depends on how our partners are, that means the factories, and a lot of how our teams are. Of course, the orders are given by our valuable customers. So all of
Mm-hmm.
this together makes a successful team and a successful business. So my partners are indeed my factories, who have played a role in we getting successful, and in turn they get business and they are surviving. Because today, with all the situation, you can see that we are struggling to
Mm-hmm.
bring back the normalcy of the orders, and the export scene going back to how it was.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that was my my next question, is that how do you cope during COVID, because there's a lot. I mean, everybody is on lockdown, there's things that you can't do, and you can't travel. So you go when you want some goods, obviously in India, I think you probably have what you want, but you still need to get those goods come to you, so that you can do your work. So what did you have to do to adjust to this new situation?
The pandemic was a surprise, and it has really, when it started, we were like clueless what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
We just didn't know how to cope up with that, because our industry and our business requires traveling and goods coming and couriers going and designs coming, approvals, and most of it when the production, the factories were not allowed to work, because again, you cannot, workers are coming and the safety mattered. So
Mm-hmm.
we initially, Mariel, to be honest, I was very, very depressed because I didn't know how could we cope up with this situation, and I was depressed. Honest, the truth is that, and and I started meditating, to get my senses right and understand how we can overcome this situation. Because again, if we miss the season, COVID or no COVID, the season is not going to wait. The goods of the summer has to sell in the summer. The goods of the winter has to sell. So the customer, as much as I am worried, the customer is also worried. But trust me, all our customers were so understanding, so very understanding. They understood the pandemic, and they gave us extensions to do and send the goods, because they're understanding it's a worldwide pandemic, and even the situation in Europe was pretty bad, and in US was pretty bad. So one thing that, of course, we were affected by this pandemic, and our factories were not working, and we had to submit our designs. Won't believe, our factories have taken all the measures, and they started working in batches. Like a few people used to come and produce a few days, and another set of people used to come and produce a few days, and somehow they exported the whole goods consignment, and we had to pay heavy prices to ship this by air because we had lost time. And the air shipments costed us a lot of money. But though we didn't make money, we have at least kept our commitment and our deliveries. So the business can happen, but we cannot let down our customers. And as much as we cannot let down our customers, we cannot have the factory faces losses, because the product, if not produced, will go for a loss of product. So much of raw materials are involved in it. So it was, we started I was working from home, and even factory owners were working from home, and we ensured that a few people come. We made sampling batches. We made small batches of workers and tailors who would come and produce, and a production that would take 20 days to 30 days to produce. But at the end, we shipped all of them. The customers gave us extension, and they were very lenient. They understood how difficult the situation was. So they with their support and with our support of the factory, we somehow shipped our goods, though late, but we did an air shipment. We paid huge money for that, but then still we have survived it. And even today the factories are working, but there is regular checking of COVID tests between the workers. Every factory, we have put mandatory clauses that you have to keep checking, and that's how we are continuing to do the work. We still made the season's collection, and we sent. So we are waiting for the new business to happen for the new season, that is the summer.
Wow, that's a lot of adjustment, isn't it? In a short time, and like you say, you don't want to let your customer down, and so you really have to adjust on different fronts, so that you can still produce, the product. So we're gonna have a short break, and we'll be back, with our discussion. So don't go anywhere. We had a few people coming in. So we had Chika, she's watching from Nigeria, and we have Sophie as well, she's watching from Cameroon, and she picked up a few of your points. Is it winning trust, which is a big part, and also to be transparent. And she also took the fact that it's important to have a global vision, because to be competitive. So we're gonna be back, just a short clip, and then we'll be back talking about fashion and women empowerment. So we are back. We are back with Dr. Maya, and we've been talking about fashion and manufacturing, and also the impact that COVID had on a business, on her doing business efficiently. But then there's something that you're passionate about, which is the woman empowerment. How do how did you get to have this passion, and what do you do concretely to implement any empowerment for women?
Well, Miral, while working, like I said, I worked for a lot of global houses, fashion houses, and I have met different kinds of people. So while I was working for this Japanese company, I was reporting to a Japanese boss,
Mm-hmm,
uh, Mr. Yamada. I don't know
mm-hmm,
if he's alive today, but I was very young, very young. So I didn't know how the global market works. And as you know, if you know, Japanese are very demanding. They want everything
mm-hmm,
perfect. And so I used to put my 100%. Even I used to go early, and I did
mm-hmm,
everything to impress him. And every day he had beautiful words. I mean, yes, during those times I could even see my files flying, because if it was improper, he would just throw it off. so
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
so I was like ready to learn and take it all, and then I became his favorite. I've learned the way he wanted it,
mm-hmm,
and every day he had beautiful words to tell me. But when it came to giving salary increments, uh, I didn't see a
mm-hmm,
increment from me. So I walked up to him and I said that you always appreciate my work. Why don't you I have an increment? So he
mm-hmm,
said, he looked at me and he told me, why do you need an increment? I mean, you're not the bread earner of your house. Your father, your brother, your husband, if you are having one, they all are working and they're earning. So why do you need to have a big pay packet? I mean, I
whoa,
was shocked. I was literally shocked. I said, "Oh,
mm-hmm,
really? So do you?"
mm-hmm,
I asked him, "So do you think I'm coming to see you here and spend my time? There's no value for my time." So
mm-hmm,
very early in life, I realized that a
mm-hmm,
man and a woman works, but then the work, even though is the best, it's not considered for a same salary or
mm-hmm,
a higher salary. It pains people to acknowledge the work of a woman. So I
mm-hmm,
fought my way out and I said, I'm quitting if you don't raise the salary
mm-hmm,
equal or more than others, because I have
mm-hmm,
put in a lot of hard work to help you set the company here in India.
mm-hmm,
So he did give in, he did give in. And very early, so as I said, I learned that you have to voice your opinion, ask for it, because nobody here in this world believes that women deserve it. We have to
mm-hmm,
knock every door and say we have a brain and we are as smart as you, or even
mm-hmm,
smarter. We can do a work properly. Likewise, I had many experiences. I worked with
mm-hmm,
a lot of manufacturing industries, and I had to
mm-hmm,
see how the women were treated, how their voices were never heard, whereas the men were given privileges, the women were
mm-hmm,
not, the women workers. So slowly and slowly, as an international norm also, we have to dedicate some amount of work for
mm-hmm,
society or for social work, wherever there is a flood, or where there is
mm-hmm,
some kind of help needed. We are told as a norm that we have to do a CSR activity, so we
mm-hmm,
had to do. So that got embedded in me. And so what I did, when I saw that if this could happen to me, it could happen to anybody who's not so educated, or
mm-hmm,
who cannot even speak for their right. So I made it a point to go to factories and talk to these women, to about the rights, and about giving them the right environment, making the safety, making creches there for their small kids, fire safety norms. So we started making sure that we work with factories that have social accountability and responsibility, especially in the matters of women, and they are paid their salaries and due on time, and their babies are taken care, or even a small school or creche in the manufacturing industry side by side. So these were
mm-hmm,
things that we did while working. And there comes in a time, if you are sensitive, then you
mm-hmm,
want to give back to the society that has given you so much, and you want to do things for the societies. And for me, the passion was women and child education. So I started doing whatever I could do, and then I started thinking that I needed a bigger platform for my voice to
Mhm.
be heard. And that's when I participated in a pageant. Not really that I wanted to walk the ramp, but then I thought if pageant would give me a bigger platform to speak
Mhm.
about, and my voices can reach more women. And it indeed happened. I
Mhm.
could reach out. When I had this crown on my head, people looked up to me, and they and trust and believe me, wherever I go, I don't know, maybe it's the warmth that I exude. People want to come and talk to me and confess
Mhm.
in me, confide in me, their problems. And I always had a solution. So that's when I got into the idea of starting Chic and training the
Mhm.
women and skilling them, because those women were in my neighboring areas who were victims of domestic
Mhm.
violence, who were widows, who were girls who had talents but didn't have opportunities. So these were the women who came and learned a skill, and they started managing the boutique, which was
Mhm.
solely run by them, and the profits they earned was distributed within themselves. And the
Mhm.
biggest compliment that I could hear was when clients say that these girls have transformed so much their life. They're talking so confidently. What have you
Mhm.
done, Maya, to them? So I knew that a little bit of support and handholding would change their life, would transform a life. And
Mhm.
these women going back home are different people now. They talk so much of confidence. So I wanted to do that on a bigger scale. And then we used to go to villages and talk to women and try to give them projects. And even when now, while working with in this international business, we make sure that a part of the orders also belong to the handicrafts, where the woman gets business and they are getting some orders of handicrafts and things that can beaded work or things like that. So they earn. So we make sure that these also are included in the kind of orders that we make, so that they get some kind of business and thrive and make some money. So going back, having said that, I mean, the women empowerment increased, and wherever we could uh, you know voice our opinion and uh, carry this forward, we did. But sooner I realized that women empowerment is not only about women.
Mhm.
What is
Mhm.
the point of empowering women and telling them that financial independence is good, and you have to fight for your justice, if the society
Mhm.
doesn't change? There is no
Mhm.
point changing these women, because they are making their voices heard, but nobody is there to hear. So what
Mhm.
we realize is that women empowerment is not about women only. It has more to do about empowering the society, the attitude of men at large. Men have to come out and support women,
Mhm.
acknowledge women, give them a space, or include them in their companies, and give them jobs, and try to respect them. Give the society has to change at large. So that's when the real empowerment can happen. Otherwise, what is happening is the gap is only increasing. Women, today, the women who are earning, if they voice their opinion, they are tagged as fast and rebellious,
Mhm.
because men
Mhm.
haven't changed. The men are there where they were, but the women are already changing. They are learning the rise. They are wanting to do
Mhm.
something, exploring the talent, but the men remain there without even acknowledging the women or wanting to acknowledge this. Real change has to happen when the society's attitude towards women change, when men starts to appreciate women and supporting them and giving them equal opportunities, when the companies start giving them equal salaries and acknowledging everybody's job. There's no job disparity, there's no salary difference between a man and woman for the same job. That's when
Mhm.
real empowerment happens. Otherwise, we are at two different levels. So I
Mhm.
think we have to start working on another level now, side by side. When we are doing empowerment, we have to also empower the women, the society at large, by making videos or movies,
Mhm.
or talking about it. That's what I have realized.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you're right when you say, a woman empowerment is not just about women. It's so true, because you need, it's an integrated effort, because like you said, if we don't bring men into the equation, it becomes very difficult. What's gonna happen is that they're gonna completely separate. They're always
Yeah.
gonna see us as a threat, and they
Yes,
will not actually participate, and it creates, the problem becomes even worse. So it's
yes,
important to open the door to men, so that they are part of the solution, and stop being part of the problem. And sometimes, what's going on is that it's actually women themselves who actually create that. They're so used to this domestication, they're so used to the cultural background. Because of their cultural background, they have been used to accept certain things, to a
yes.
point where they force other women to basically stay in the same frame
Very
of mind. And they finally jeopardize the woman empowerment themselves. So it's
exactly.
important that we women also understand that we need to be open-minded, and we need to be diverse in our own. Yes, we are all women, it's the same gender, but we need this diversity of the idea, this diversity of seeing things, and this diversity of solving problems, and bringing men along with that. So that's a key one that sometimes we miss out. And I have chicas again. When women are empowered, everyone benefits. Yes, of course.
Yes,
And
yes,
I think that's the message that we need to bring forward, is that empowering women. And I like one of the there's a statement where they say empowering women is actually, it's a human right, because we actually empowering everybody. When we empower
yes,
women, it's not just about
exactly.
women, it's about everybody. So you
True.
wanted to add something? Yeah.
I wanted to say that there is time that somebody tells the men that it is foolishness of them to disregard women, because if you're a smart man, then you will understand that empowering a woman, you not only he himself can also follow his dreams. He's just not only the only breadwinner. He can also follow his dreams,
Mhm,
do whatever he wants, because there's already another person bringing some money and and some kind of value adding to the family. So men are not seeing the larger picture. They
mhm,
are
mhm,
today worried whether the woman takes over them by giving them these rights. I don't want to mention, but then but somewhere they have to be seen the bigger picture, which they are not. Only a few percent of men see that already, and they are promoting. But a large, I think, 80% of men do not want women in any field, whether it's politics, whether it's business. I mean, even today we are lacking behind. A lot of corporates
mhm,
have still not adding women to the boardrooms, but we have
mhm,
already seen that adding them to the boardrooms, the figures have risen up compared to not having women in the boardrooms.
mhm,
So,
mhm, mhm.
so somebody has to bell the cat now and talk the bigger picture of to the men now.
And one question that I have, because like you said that men, they don't see the bigger picture. Is it not as well our own fault? Because don't do we communicate properly to them the what it means to be, an empowered woman, and what is the added value that we can bring into their life? Because sometimes, when people are scared, it's because they think that, you're going to take something from them.
Yes.
So maybe there's something missing as well in the way we communicate, or in the way we pass on the message to them. What do you think?
See, Meryl, the thing is that the solution to this. I should say, India, for example, our country, we are a very patriarchal society. So, so the issues are that most of the time the women, the girls are not even allowed to speak their mind, and going forward, they lose their confidence to place a point or convince anybody. Forget convincing or talking. Most of the time, there's so much of disparity between a boy and a girl, the way they're brought up. But today, the young girls, the mothers are bringing the boys and girls differently, and the girls are equally asking for it. And I'm
Mhm,
sure after 15 years, we will definitely see a different generation, because today's girls are differently brought up. But in generation of ours, it was not even considered necessary for educating a girl. It was only if there is less money, only the boy gets educated. So if you don't stand, you don't have the confidence, how will you convince anyone or put up a point, and then the girls are married off, then she's into the family life, and his whole life goes in serving the family and the society. That's about it. Even globally now there is change. So I mean, I'm sure the things are getting better, and girls will start voicing their opinion. And today, almost the girls are, of course, the metro city girls are studying, but there is a lot of work still to be done at the rural level. And that's why I believe that education should be free, irrespective of whether boy or girl, because everybody has to have, that's a basic thing, the basic amenity that you need to get when you're, to have a decent life, to being educated. And why should girls be behind? So the point to convince and prove a point that we can do it needs the confidence, and that confidence comes only when you're brought up in a in an environment that allows you the freedom to speech.
And and the cultural background is key in a lot of, in a
Yes,
lot of
yes,
countries. I mean, you talked about India. There's also, in Asia, here in Africa, the cultural background is so strong, and it's
yes,
always been about men, in a lot of the culture. So it's really becoming difficult. It is difficult to start to change the narrative and say, okay, yes, it's been good to have men in charge and men really empowered, but we also need women to be part of it, because they need to be part of the decision making, because they're part of this world. So they need to have a voice and voice their opinion, so that they can participate, so that they can defend, themselves, in terms of, being able to economically be free independently. But also, like you said, and I like what you said, is that, men have to understand that if you have a woman who is free financially, it's less of a burden for you, especially in those society where the man has to do everything. When he get married, he has to take care of the family in law as well. So
yes,
if your wife works, she can take care of her own family. So you don't have this burden on
very
top
true.
of that. So I think those are the kind of thing that we need to bring into the men and say, look, this is the value that we're bringing. And we've seen also economically, there are
Yes,
numbers. I don't have them, and I don't have the latest number. The impact that, empowering women is gonna make is
yes,
huge. And
yes,
and we need to understand that, and really start to voice it, like you said. We have to get those numbers, get the facts, and really voice it to men and say, look, this is what it is. It's not just about us, it's about
yeah.
everybody, and understand
So
that.
until then, I think what matters is that women have to speak for women. So sisterhood and mentorship should continue happening, because if men do not come forward, women should speak up for women. Women should mentor women. Women leaders should be examples to other ones who deserve these kind of support, because the men will not change, or nobody is telling the men we cannot
Mhm,
stop the
mhm,
empowerment. We have to still continue. And so sisterhood and mentorship is the key thing now. The world
mhm,
over, women are supporting women, women are pulling up women, women are guiding and telling them stories, how they telling about the justice of their rights, about how financial independence is important. So we will continue to do our job, I guess. We
mhm,
should. And we are not scared of men. I would suggest that while talking, whenever I talk, I said include men in the discussions, because then
mhm,
more positive things can happen. We are not worried that men's present to diverse, disturb, or
mhm,
we will move away from the target that we have. I've always been promoting that any discussion should have men and women's point of view. So I, as much as I say women empowerment is not only women, sisterhood and mentorship should continue happening. And that's
mhm.
what we are doing.
And definitely. So let's have another break, and then we'll come back and go to the last part of the show. So don't go anywhere, Chicas, Sophie, and everybody listening. Please, bear with us. We're gonna come back after a short clip as well, and then be back with you.
Nikambano remiwo Anchomono zangewami Omwe wanopunga Nigambani yoyo Nikambano remiwo Anchomono zangewami Omwe wanopunga La 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 la.
So we are back. We are back with Dr. Maya. So we've talked about fashion and manufacturing. We've talked about women empowerment. And one question I have, Dr. Maya. So you've been doing, a lot of work in those, in those key area, fashion and also manufacturing, and also now, taking a role, an active role on in women empowerment and educating girls. So what's next for you? I mean, what's really the legacy that you want to leave? What's next for the future?
Well, as I said, I always have 5-year plans, and most of my plans are fulfilled. So I'm making new plans. So the latest in the list was to, as I said, when I got the pageant, then I got a platform. Now I was looking for a bigger platform, so I joined a political party, because I equally believe that women has to play a role in running the country, in the governance of the country. And again, my idea of politics is different. I mean, when I say politics means a larger platform to do better things for better for people, for the citizens. That's what exactly is politics about. It's but then people have got it wrong, everywhere that people think power is politics, money is politics. Politics is getting a bigger platform to do things for the citizen, to give them better amenities and make the life better by giving good governance, using the tax money to give more and more facilities and benefits to the people. But that's not happening. So having seen all these frustrating situations, and we are paying taxes, but then we don't get. I see how the poor have been suffering during this pandemic, whereas this tax money should have been utilized to giving them food and shelter and things like that. So I was contemplating to join politics, and I joined a political party which is called Aam Aadmi Party at this moment, and I have joined the business and trade of the state. And another reason was to get this platform to do more work and support women. Politics is gives you the opportunity to work in a bigger platform. So that's one on the on the plans. And coming forward, like I said, I think we should have a global platform for all women entrepreneurs, where we can meet, greet, and discuss problems and find solutions, and handhold the ones who cannot reach up to the global level, because all of us know how difficult it is to make a presence in the global field. And being women, we still have faced the thing that we can't travel so much, or we have certain responsibilities to be taken at home, or things like that. So we have to handhold, and I want to make a global platform for women, where women can meet every year, and exchange happen. We can see each other's, women can bring each other's work, and have a exhibition or a trade fair where you can sell and promote your things. So these are a few of the plans that I have in mind, and I've just started working on it, and I hope to see them happening soon.
That's fantastic. And I think, when you talked about politics, because Chicas is, she's a politician. So we need more women in politics. Welcome to the club. And I think that's, that's where it starts, because like we've been, we talked about it during the show, is that women, they don't have position where they actually making an impact or making decisions for the country, for themselves. So we need to come out. I mean, women have to come out. They have to start, taking risk and really get involved in politics, get involved in trades, get involved in science, get involved everywhere where they don't have a voice, so that, they can create a voice for themselves and balance what's going on right now. Because you can't expect men to to talk for you. So it starts with
Exactly.
us. We have to show, we have to
Yeah.
show the energy, we have to show the passion, and we have to show that we are interested to see the change and take the risk that are coming with it. Because like you said, politics have now changed. People see politics differently, but
Yeah.
politics, like you said, it's about solving problems. And
Yes.
women have to come in, and if they want to solve their problem, they have to be in these political parties, they have to be on this political platform. And don't, be afraid, because that's all that's what it's all about. Because sometimes we have this imposter syndrome, where we feel like, oh no, we don't belong. We have
Yes.
to stop.
True.
Belong is
Yeah.
it's the world that we live in. We have to start, raising our hands, and then take the risks that are important, and bring other women with us, because we
Yes.
can only do it, as a community, as a group, because
Yes.
alone it's gonna be very difficult.
Difficult.
So that's fantastic, fantastic, fantastic move, and wishing you all the best, because there's so much to be done. But like you said, we need to support each other. We need to really come together, the sisterhood, the mentorship. So any woman who is listening, who can help, start in this new arena, is welcome. So
Definitely.
before we close out, just wanted to know, how can people, connect with you, and continue, hopefully, the discussion, the conversation that we started here.
Okay, you can always connect with me by my phone number, which you have, and you have my mail ID. So please provide them that. I'm always there, and I love to get connected to the global family, and we should do it. We have God has given this privilege to talk and be together and connected. I'm sure it's for a bigger reason. So we should do things and get connected. Please write to who wants to write. Please give them my mail ID and my phone number.
So mail ID and phone number, and there are also the website that
Yes,
I've put here. So if you want to see what Dr. Maya is doing as part of Haute Couture in India and Beyond Consulting, those are the website. So take notes, and otherwise she is on Facebook, so she has her official page on Facebook that you can like, and then also Instagram as well. So that's really, really good. That's been, an amazing discussion. Just understand, the challenge that you had getting into this multi-billion-dollar industry, fashion, not only in India but also internationally. And as you clearly, pointed out, it has been, a journey of opportunity and challenges. Despite the challenges, you wouldn't change anything,
yes,
at all. So uh, before we leave, just want to, tell the audience what's coming up as far as I'm concerned. So in October, we will start a series. This is for women again. We will start a series on domestic violence, and because it's going to be the month of domestic violence, so we have women talking about it, and hopefully I can find some men as well, because we have for a collective, a solution to this problem. So have men
yes,
as well coming up, so that we can address this problem. So it's gonna be in October.
right.
There's also a woman conference, or female wave of change conference, coming up in on the 26th of September. So
Uh-huh.
it's gonna be virtual this time. Last year it was live, but obviously because of COVID, this
Uh,
conference is coming up. So for people who are interested, please register and get your ticket on Eventbrite. it's this year. The theme is reshaping to reshape the future and accelerate the positive change. So make sure you get your ticket. There's also the Global Supplier Diversity Conference coming up on the 24th as well. So you can also get your ticket for that. It's by going, on the website, and the website is globalsupplierdiversityconference.com. So that's another event coming up. And there's also, so I'm talking here on behalf of Charmaine Carter. Charmaine Carter has been on my show. She's a survivor of domestic violence and rape. And this was in her own family, done by uncle, brothers, and you name it. So very traumatic experience. It was so difficult to listen to what she had to go through. She's making a movie on that, and she's, because of COVID, some of the sponsors have pulled out, so she's asking for donation for, so if you want to help, Charmaine, to be able to make this documentary about domestic violence and rape, and particularly in Black families, please, you, you know take note of the different URL where you can help. So that's all on my part today. But before we leave, I want to ask you, Dr. Maya, do you have a last word that you want to leave the audience with?
Well, I just want to say that, especially my message for women, that believe in yourself, hard work and perseverance pays, and believe, have dreams, and do not be scared of failures, because if you don't have failures, when you succeed, you will not be able to enjoy it. So believe in yourself and move forward in your path confidently. This is all I can tell. Yes.
Fantastic. So believe in yourself, move confidently, don't be scared. Learn from your failures. They help you to extend, they help you to grow. So don't see them as negative experience, see them as lesson that you learn from. And it's important, especially for women, to understand that we have to step up, we have to step into our power, we have to take the risk that are gonna help us to bring the full community of women forward and help us to be recognized finally in the world, and get to help to reshape, like female wave of change is bringing, reshape the future, and bring more positive and feminine leadership to balance what's going on right now. So thank you so much, Dr. Maya, for your time and for all the inspiration and all the knowledge, because it's been really amazing to know what you're doing, and be aware of the challenges and the impact that you're doing right now, and wishing you really a very, very good journey as you start your political journey, because it's not always yeah, and we're gonna support you as we can. I'm gonna support. That's not a problem. Like you said, sisterhood and mentorship are key for all of this, because you'll be representing women, we've been representing us. So thank you very much. That's all for today. I have actually another show in 1 hour with a humanitarian, again based in India. So I'll see some of you. I'll see some of you later. So have a great evening, Dr. Maya, and thanks for being with us today.
Wonderful talking. Thank you for hosting me. And I'm sure I heard you're the next Oprah. So I'm looking forward. I can already see it happening. And I'm so glad. I'm happy to see you, whatever you're doing and where you're taking this show to. So all my best wishes to you. And let's stay connected.
Thank you very much. Take care and God bless. Bye.
Thank you.